Hello, my name is Nathan Cox, and I am a student in the HSC 340 course at Arizona State University, and my client's name is Chad Rogers. Hi Nathan Cox, I'm Chad Rogers. Let me tell you a little bit about myself and why I'm here seeking out your consultation advice today. So I'd say only about a year ago, I was not even contemplating the fact that I might have a health issue. I was completely unaware, and the only reason how I became conscious and aware that I do have a health problem and I'm in need of health behavior change is my wife became pregnant, and as we were going to doctor's appointments, I started to realize and listen to the recommendations and advice doctors were giving my wife, and I realized I needed to be taking that same advice because my diet was poor, I wasn't exercising enough, things along that nature. So I scheduled an appointment with my primary care provider, and my PCP gave me a health risk assessment form, basically a self-assessment, and I filled it out, and I started to realize some of those poor indicators of health that I was actually practicing. And so I started to realize I need to make those changes, and so I started to become aware of the fact that I did have a health problem. And now I want to move even past that, and I want to move into the more of a preparation and then even ideally an action stage, and then more ideally a maintenance phase where I can just be healthy and practice good health behaviors. So on that health risk assessment form, some of the behaviors that I was practicing and or foregoing, and some of the indicators that kind of proved that my health was going downhill was that I had high triglyceride levels. I had the high LDL cholesterol levels, which is the bad cholesterol. I also had high BMI. It wasn't quite obese yet, but I was in the overweight category and moving on to obesity. So my doctor ended up telling me that these were all linked to primarily my diet, but also my lack of physical activity. And so that's kind of what led me along this journey, why I'm meeting with you today, because I want to be healthier, I want to be stronger, I want my body systems to function properly and live a long life so that I can be there for my new son who's going to be born here in about a month or two. And then I think the first step to change is definitely going to be attacking my diet, because as they say, diet is about 80-20 or 90-10, depending on what your thoughts are. So I'm going to definitely be attacking that first, trying to change my health behavior there. And then I'm going to, once I kind of get that on board, then that's when I'm going to start to attack my physical activity and make sure I be more active on the daily. So I'm excited to hear your advice, and I appreciate you meeting with me so that we can get me to that, out of the preparation stage, into the action, and then eventually into the maintenance. Thank you. Chad, it's a pleasure to work alongside you. I just want to affirm you right now and talk about some of your strengths, just let you know that you're completely on the right track. You're motivated. You've liberated yourself by even choosing to change this behavior. You're young, as I said on your health risk assessment that you so graciously provided me, that you're only 26 years old, and you sought out professional help from your medical doctor. I'm more of a holistic healthcare practitioner, but that's so great that you're using all these healthcare professionals and providers, and using those resources to get differing opinions and recommendations and advice. So great job there. You've set a goal, and just make sure that we keep the change talk focused and positive. We don't need any negativity that could dissuade our efforts here, working together and making sure you get healthy. And I don't think you're going to have a problem with that, honestly, because your self-efficacy is very high. You believe in this change, and you believe that you are capable of making this change. So that's awesome. We're just going to keep down that road. We got to make sure also just to not allow for any ambivalence. We can, when ambivalence comes into the picture, it becomes a little bit more complicated. So we can keep this health behavior change simple by just keeping things a little black and white. And that's not a negative thing. That's going to be good for us, especially in these beginning grounds of this health behavior change. And then eventually, we can get into more of the intricacies and make sure that we push on even further. Two things I do recommend, stimulus control and reinforcement management. So stimulus control, just make sure you start eliminating some of those poor foods in your cabinets, in your fridge. When you go to grocery stores, make sure you're not buying a bunch of candy, high saturated fat meats, high fat milk, things along those lines. And reinforcement management is, give yourself a reward. If you're successful for a day, 2 days, a week, go out to the movies with your wife. Go to a nice dinner. Whatever it may be that would support your behavior change, do those things. And that will help you immensely. And also another great thing is that often people's environments dissuade and make it harder for people to change their health behaviors. You, on the lucky side, actually have an environment that's positive, right? Your wife is pregnant, you're about to have your first child, and so you have some time to really work on yourself before your kid is born. And then once your kid is born, you want to set that tone for your family and make sure that the tone is that we're going to be healthy, eat healthy and have great diets. So that's awesome that your environment currently is supporting this health behavior change. So just for a brief recap, you were in the pre-contemplation phase before your wife even got pregnant. As she got pregnant, you moved into that contemplation phase and you became aware that you had a health problem, that your diet wasn't that great, you weren't exercising very much. So that's why you kind of sought out a medical doctor's help, sought out me, and I've just been so thankful that you came to me. I think we're going to work great together. We're going to get you on the right track, and we're going to get you, we're creating our plan right now. We're going to get you from that preparation phase to that action phase, to where you are actually attacking that health behavior day by day, and then eventually the maintenance phase where it's just been consistent, which is our goal. So just to leave you off with a goal, what I want you to do for the next month is when you go to the grocery store, only buy low-fat milk. Drink 64 ounces minimum of water a day, and eat only white meat, so no red meat, because that will drastically reduce your saturated fat content. That's it. I want you to do that for a month, and then come and see me. We're going to set up an appointment right now for next month, and then we're going to start you on a new goal and keep you moving forward. All right, Chad, it's been a pleasure.